It's Planted Places. It's Christy here, and I'm here to kick off our Get Your Greens Challenge for March. And what are we doing this month? We are doing dressings, all about salad dressings. But what we're doing is we're going to show you how to make really creative dressings, but we're also showing you how to get your greens in your dressings, because obviously you're going to use your dressings on your salad, on a lot of different meals, but we want to show you also put them in the dressing. So today, for the first Thursday, first week of the month, I'm going to just kind of talk basics. And it's sort of funny because I'm so excited by doing all of this, by growing food really easily, the way we do it in Planted Places. I'm starting to really experiment with a lot of different ways to cook food. And if anybody who knows me, they know I'm really not known for being a cook, but I am becoming more and more adventuresome. And I think honestly, this is because of what we're doing here. I'm growing all this great food and I want to figure out how to get it into my body and into my family's body. So here's what I'm doing. Everybody knows the basics of dressings basically are your oils and your vinegars, and then your salt and pepper. And then a lot of people will add a mustard base maybe, or some kind of sweet base to that, maybe add a little bit of sugar. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna mix it up a little bit. And it's funny, I'm taking this from thinking about how I cook in different recipes with herbs, and I'm applying that to dressing. So kind of interesting. So one of the things I wanna do is I've got 3 different ideas here. I actually went and I asked Kevin, my husband, what he wanted. He wanted to do the lemon one. But here's the 3 different ideas I had, which is one was, and I'm gonna show you the different greens that we're doing. So one of the ideas I had, and it's because I have a recipe from a friend that asked for avocado, cilantro, and lime with chicken on a salad. And so one thing that we can be doing is, here is the cilantro. Whoops, beautiful cilantro growing in the wall. And I've got a lot of cilantro and it's getting really big and it needs to be harvested. So one idea is to do your oil and vinegar. And remember, whenever you're doing your oil and vinegar in a dressing, it's always a 3-to-1 ratio, 3 oil, 1 vinegar. However, it's variable, it's adjusted to your palate and what you like, but that's kind of where you start and you go from there. I've had other people that say, oh, you can do 1-to-1, but I tend to like it kind of a little bit more oil, less vinegar. But what you do is you start with that base, and then you can add some cilantro in there, and you can add lime. With, of course, some salt and pepper. And this would be kind of, it's interesting, it's almost kind of seems like more of a Cinco de Mayo kind of theme, so maybe I'll have to do something like that come May. But cilantro, lime, salt, pepper, vinegar, and an oil. That's one of the ideas. Another idea you can do, especially, these are things, I'm showing you things that we're growing in Planted Places right now in our membership. We sent you guys cilantro a few months ago. Oregano. Do you remember back in November, we started with oregano if you were doing the planted box. Look at that. Isn't that just beautiful? So that is my oregano. I took that off. I'm growing that on the wall right now. Or you've got it in, here's the grow pot, and it's right there in the pot. It's slid into the pot that hangs on the wall. And another thing you can be doing is your oil and vinegar. With this one, doing a real nice, I'm picking here kind of a champagne vinegar. There's so many different ways to go, but adding a nice Dijon mustard, or like I've got here kind of a grainy mustard oil, grainy mustard vinegar, and then I'm going to chop up some oregano and add it into there. Another kind of crazy thing that you can do, which I'm going to definitely do that this month, is I'm growing mustard. Okay, so here's a mustard plant. I'm growing mustard on the wall. These are some mustard greens. And I want to chop this up and put that in there with the oregano, along with the mustard grainy mustard and the oil and vinegar. I bet that's going to be delicious. Obviously salt and pepper to kind of even out the taste. Also, here's a little gardening tip for you. Here I was looking at my mustard on the wall, and notice this. So I don't know if you can see that if you kind of go in close there. Here is a mustard plant, and it is starting to go to seed. If you look in closely, you can see there's a little flower bud in there. Now, I noticed when I tasted the mustard leaf, super, super spicy. So spicy, it literally made my nose run, and I started sneezing. It was so spicy. So that is usually what happens when you're growing plants and they start to go to seed, especially the mustard greens. But anyways, that's another idea. And then the one I'm going to go with, which is what Kevin voted for, is the lemon. So I'm going to be doing 3 parts olive oil. I'm going to do 1 part vinegar. I'm going to use this nice champagne vinegar. And then I'm going to add salt and pepper. I'm going to then take parsley. So here's my parsley growing in the wall. Look at this thing. This thing is huge. It definitely needs to be harvested. I'm going to cut up some parsley I'm going to put in there. I'm going to get some lemon juice. Okay. And then I'm going to add some shallots. Now, what's really interesting here is I have a really good pasta recipe that is garlic, lemon juice, and parsley in olive oil. And that makes a delicious marinade for pasta. And I think that would be a very interesting dressing as well. So this, I'm doing the similar kind of thing. I'm doing my oil, but I'm adding a vinegar 'cause it's dressing. I'm gonna do the parsley, I'm gonna do the lemon, and instead of garlic, I'm gonna add some shallots because I think the garlic might be a little too strong. So that is what I'm gonna be doing. And then of course I'll be doing salt and pepper. So try these ideas. Planted members, grab the herbs, grab the oregano, parsley, the cilantro, off your walls, off your pot, out of your containers, and add those to the dressings. One last thing that I'm gonna try as well in the lemon dressing is lemon balm. So here's the lemon balm, okay? I know all of you guys are probably growing lemon balm if you're a planted member. And I'm going to add that in because lemon balm actually makes a wonderful tea, medicinal tea, but it tastes, I mean, you smell it, smells like lemon. I think it's gonna add a nice herby taste to my dressing. But the really important thing is there's a lot of antioxidants in lemon balm. And so I'm gonna be getting some great nutrients in my dressing by adding lemon balm, adding parsley, and then of course the shallots and the oil and the vinegar. So lots of fun surprises that you wouldn't expect in a dressing in terms of how can you get these greens into your diet. And don't forget, when you are cutting up your parsley, remember the stems. Don't forget the stems. This is where most of the nutrition, this is where most of the nutrients are in the plant, is in the stem. So either chop those up or just eat them. But make sure not to, don't get rid of this. This is really where a lot of the value of the nutrients are. Okay, great. Thanks, guys. See you next week. Next week, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to get the Happy Food Chef Robin on in live with me in Facebook, and we're going to talk more about dressings because she really specializes in this area, and I really want her to talk about how you really can be very versatile in your dressings and mix them and kind of mix and change based on your palate and really what you want to do in terms of the food that you're preparing that night, how to really customize a dressing for that. So we'll do that next week. All right. Thanks, everybody. Take care.